Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. We are in Panguitch, Utah, and we are in front of the Panguitch Museum. And this used to be, as you can see behind me, the Bishop Storehouse in Panguitch. And we're going right up to the front. Now, I have never seen a town with so many red brick buildings. And not only are these red brick buildings found downtown, but they are also found all around town in the homes that are built here. And they're quite nice. But you can see right here on Main Street that there are so many here at the old hotel, and also a lot of the businesses that are there now, and what they once were and what they are now is fairly amazing. We found this location alongside the road on the way in from Bryce Canyon. And this is an old West facade where they used to have like a candy store and a place to eat in here and some shops that were open. But you know, we came here about 2 years ago and looked, and it was closed then, when a lot of things were locked down and closed anyway. And I think this location just kind of lost its luster because not many people were traveling over the last 2 years into this area. But if you're following our channel and know a little bit about us, we'll stop in a ghost town or any abandoned building and make sure that we document it. And this looked like an old ghost town, even though it was an area for tourists to stop by and do some shopping. But still an amazing build. All these old West buildings and the old antlers and all the old tools and equipment. And when I look in this window, I got a little bit of a scare. As you watch right here, what happens? That made my heart jump. Seeing that cat fly out of that window startled the heck out of me. Now, there's some nice old pieces of equipment here, like I say, and some old, I guess, milk jugs and things like that. And that old Texaco sign that says Texaco ahead. Pretty good looking stuff here. I wish that they could renovate this and open this back up because it really does give you that old West feel when you're driving down the highway. So a little history on the town of Panguitch and the red brick buildings and what happened. So back in 1864, this area was abandoned. All the crops and homes were left, and then it was resettled in 1871. This was due to the Black Hawk Wars. Now, Panguitch has one of the finest collection of these native brick houses. They date back to 1880 all the way to 1940. And the homes were built because brick making was an important part of Panguitch. The life there for 3 decades was all produced, all these bricks were produced by a local kiln from the red dirt and clay that was around the area. And these homes are absolutely stunning. And they still exist today. And also, you can rent these houses, a couple of them, as bed and breakfast to stay in these homes. Panguitch is 6,630 feet above sea level. Settlers faced challenges because they had such harsh winters and short growing seasons here. The bitter winters, the first one, really tested the settlers' survival skills. Their supply routes were blocked by heavy snow, and the crops freezing made them short of supplies. The residents were growing dangerously hungry, and they gathered 7 men who volunteered to make the journey over the mountains to gather flour and supplies. The snow was so deep for their wagons, so they were forced to walk most of the way with these wagons to avoid falling through the snow and the crust of the snow. So what they did was they used quilts, literally used quilts to lay over the snow, cover the surface of the snow, and that created a cushion to safely walk across and bring those wagons across. So when they went over one quilt, they'd grab it and throw them back in front of the wagon. And so they have a annual quilt walk day here in Panguitch. You would think it was because they love quilts, and they probably do, because it saved the settlers' lives. Now, this downtown area has no shortage of great buildings. This old trading post, the Panguitch Trading Post, was awesome, and the old firehouse. This is an antique shop and really well preserved. Look how beautiful this old building is, and you can absolutely tell that this is the old firehouse with the old roller doors and just the construction. And again, off to the left, more red brick. This town is covered in red brick buildings. And when we looked it up, of course, that's why, because there was an amazing kiln where they made all these red bricks out of the clay that's all over this town. We certainly love the small town vibe that you get here with all these well-preserved, beautiful buildings. You see a lot of this, but a lot of them aren't as well taken care of as they are here in this little town. And this was the old hotel that was there. And again, a tremendous amount of red brick. Now, there's no vacancy here at the Canyon Lodge as it is under renovation. Just love that old sign. And neon signs and a lot of lights are what it's about. Looks like something off of Route 66. In this old building here, you can see the archways that were in the doors. And they're reconstructing it and they're putting it back together. They're replacing all the wood. As you can see, it's all new. But it still has the old open sign, the old office sign right there. And we can't wait to see this get redone and back in operation. Panguitch is about 25 miles northwest of Bryce Canyon. And the old hitching post here has got that nice water tower and that old west look with some wagons out front. And kind of an old town westy feeling right there with I guess some big logs there where you could hitch up your horse if you had to. But Panguitch got its name meaning big fish. It has a plentiful lake in the nearby mountains, offering excellent year-round rainbow trout fishing. So if you're interested in staying around this area, you have Bryce Canyon, you have fishing, and plenty of outdoors to do. Now, this cabin here was here in the park, and it's the Kate Lublin Alexander cabin, built in 1890 by her son. And this is an amazing build. They've preserved it here, and you'll find that on the front of it, there's a quilt, and I'm assuming that that quilt has something to do with the quilt walk that happens here that those pioneers used to get their supplies and save their lives. Just a quick reminder, we're now on Patreon. I'll put a link in the description below. Click on it and check it out. Thank you for coming along with us to Panguitch, Utah. And until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and we'll see you in the next one.